Why are people having trouble with sleep? So what my aim is to give you an understanding of sleep. I want to show you what happens when you sleep. When you understand what happens when you sleep, you begin to have a knowledge on the important times to sleep and why.
Do you ever struggle to fall asleep, tossing and turning in bed? Or wake up feeling exhausted even after a full night's rest? You're not alone. In today's video, Dr. Barbara O'Neill will break down the real reasons behind insomnia, the science of sleep, and what might be sabotaging your rest. She'll also reveal the biggest mistakes that ruin sleep and simple, natural ways to improve it. And make sure to stay till the end, because we'll share a powerful secret herb that can help you fall asleep fast. Let's get started.
There's a little tiny gland in the base of the brain, and it's called the pineal gland. And the pineal gland is about the size of a macadamia nut, and it's right in the base of your brain. And the pineal gland releases 4 hormones every night, but only in certain hours. In the winter time, it's between 9 and 2. And I think your summertime ends end of October, is that right? We call it daylight saving. So in Australia, I think daylight saving's just about begun, and that when daylight saving, so at the moment you're still on summertime, yeah? So at the moment it's between 10 p.m. and 3 a.m. Why only those times? It has much to do with the moons and the tides. Light and dark signals are fed through the optic nerve to a control centre in the brain where your body clock is located. And your body clock communicates with the pineal gland. And these are the hormones that are released. One is melatonin. A lot of people have heard of melatonin. Some people that don't sleep very well take melatonin. Well, we naturally release melatonin in that time, and it's called the fix and rejuvenate nighttime hormone. So it is this hormone that probably is mostly responsible for the fix and rejuvenation that's happening in our brain and our body while we sleep. Another hormone is serotonin. That's the mood hormone. So if you want to feel good, go to bed early. What are the kids like if they have a late night? Another hormone that's released in these hours from the pineal gland is arginine vasotocin. Arginine vasotocin is our natural painkiller. Did you know you have a natural painkiller? When you go to bed in these hours, your natural painkiller is released. But your natural painkiller, when it's used, it leaves a waste. And if that waste hasn't been released, then the next night, arginine vasotocin won't be released. So how do we get rid of the waste from using our arginine vasotocin? That's exercise. When you exercise in the day, as you perspire, you are letting go of the waste. And that's why exercise is so important to be able to increase your ability to sleep. Ecclesiastes says the sleep of a labouring man is sweet. It's when you physically move through the day, you get physical exhaustion at night and you can sleep better. So arginine vasotocin is your natural painkiller, and arginine vasotocin puts you into a deep sleep. So the earlier you go to bed, the more likely you are to fall into a deep sleep. The other hormone that's released is epithalamin. And epithalamin is a hormone that increases learning capacity. God designed our brain to be learning new things right up until the day we die. Many people's brains deteriorate because they stop learning new things. We should ever learn new things. Epithalamin increases learning capacity, and epithalamin slows down aging. Everyone over the age of 25 likes that one.
Before we move further, let's learn about REM and NREM to better understand what Barbara O'Neill is about to explain. Sleep is divided into rapid eye movement, REM, sleep, and non-rapid eye movement, NREM, sleep, which differ in brain activity and eye movement. NREM sleep stage has slow brain activity, and the eyes remain still. REM sleep stage is the dream stage, where the brain becomes highly active and the eyes move rapidly in different directions. Now we will learn the wonders of these stages.
So in non-rapid eye movement time, they found that in the brain there's a courier service happening. Now all through the day, everything that happens to us is stored in our hippocampus back here. It's called the short-term storage unit. While we sleep, there's a courier service that takes all of those memories from the day up to the cortex up the top. So that's a courier service happening in non-rapid eye movement time. The other thing that's happening in non-rapid eye movement time is the cleaning system. We just mentioned that, the glymphatic system. So cleanings happen. What they found is that the brain cells seem to shrink up a bit, allowing more fluid between them, and so this cleaning system is happening. So what's cleaned up? Waste from neuronal activity, waste from the combustion of glucose and oxygen in the energy cycles in the cell, but also negative emotions. Rapid eye movement time, this is where dreaming happens. No wonder the eyes are moving fast. Also in rapid eye movement time is a filing system. Dr. Matthew Walker was amazed at in the research that he was doing, and he's an atheist. And this is what he said. He said, it's almost as if sleep has an intelligence. This is an admission from an atheist. And if I was there talking to him, I'd say, of course, mate, it has an intelligence. It was designed by God. These incredible things were designed by God to happen at that time in the night. So what's happening with the filing system? Remember, the courier has brought all the day's memories up to the cortex. And what appears to happen is the dreaming that happens, the dreaming that happens, have you noticed things from long ago, things you're thinking about through the day, all sorts of things come up. And it appears that that happens so that the brain knows how to file. He says, the filing is done in order. Isn't that incredible? So negative things that happen, there's a negative section. Wonderful things that happen, that goes into the wonderful section. And that caused Dr. Matthew Walker to say it's as if sleep has an intelligence. And of course it does. The intelligence is God. So filing happens in rapid eye movement time. This is where our inventions happen. My father was an inventor, and my brother is an inventor. So I grew up with Dad and Dave, who were both inventors. In fact, every machine that came to our house, Dad and Dave pulled the whole thing apart and pulled it all back together. So I grew up with inventors. But I think it's something we all have in us, and you could almost say it's also creativity, isn't it? Something else happens in rapid eye movement time, and that is a consolidation of the things that you learnt through the day. You could say a consolidation or a confirmation of the things you learnt through the day. Dr. Matthew Walker found that these happened in 90-minute intervals. So let's have a look at that. So let's do my favourite, 9 to 5. So the first 90 minutes is 9 p.m. to 10:30. So from 9 p.m. to 10:30, non-rapid eye movement takes up 80%, and rapid eye movement takes up 20%. So it's in the first part of the night that most of the cleaning happens. So now we've got 10:30 to 12, midnight. So at midnight, 10:30 to midnight, we've got 60% rapid eye movement time and 40% rapid eye movement time. So from 12 to 1:30, it's about 50-50. 50 rapid eye movement and 50 non-rapid eye movement. But as the night goes on, we have a change. So from 1:30 to 3 a.m., we've got 40% non-rapid eye movement and 60% Rapid eye movement. So from 3 to 5, the last 2 hours, we've got 20% non-rapid eye movement time and 80% rapid eye movement time.
How perfect and magnificent is the wisdom of God. Every single thing He created has a purpose, and sleep is one of His greatest blessings. When we close our eyes at night, unaware of the world, He commands our bodies to heal, our minds to reset, and our souls to find peace. Sleeping is not just important for our brain, but also for our entire body. While we sleep, the brain clears out toxins, processes memories, and balances emotions. The body repairs tissues, strengthens the immune system, and regulates hormones. If we do not sleep or fail to get proper sleep, serious problems can occur. Sleep is a gift. Neglecting it can harm both our mind and body.
Have you found that if you wake at 3 or 4 and then doze back to sleep, when you wake up again, you remember all your dreams? That often happens to me because most of your dreaming is happening in the second part of the night. And the cleaning system, most of that's happening in the earlier part of the night. So what happens if someone goes to bed at midnight? Someone goes to bed at midnight, not only have they cut down by almost half their melatonin, serotonin, agonine, vasotocin and epithalamin, but they've also lost some of their cleaning. And what can also happen is they can wake up in the morning and they've still got memory from the day before in their short-term memory unit because there wasn't enough time to get it into the rapid eye movement time.
Now that we have learned the science behind sleep, it's time to discover how you can improve your sleep and truly benefit from this divine gift.
Now, Dr. Matthew Walker, is a professor, and he was asked to write study tips for the university. And so the study tips that he gave for the university are very interesting. Number 1, he said, sleep with your windows open. Here's the pure air. He said, have some sunshine every day. Temperance. He was very strong on the dangers of caffeine and refined sugar, and how many students are sipping coffee late at night till midnight trying to get their study in. But what Matthew Walker found, they retain almost half as much as the people that stop the stimulants and go to bed early. That's a big difference, huge difference. And of course 4, this is 8 hours sleep a night. 8 hours, not negotiable. When I turned 50, I found that I started to have about 6 hours sleep a night and I felt good. I used to tell people, since I turned 50, I don't need as much sleep. Once I read this book, well, I very quickly have trained myself back into 8 hours. Because that's the danger of the 6 hour. You feel okay, but it's a great deception because all of these things aren't happening. So the next one is exercise. If you want to sleep good at night, get physically active in the day. If you can't run, try the exercise bike, try the rebounder, try swimming, but some sort of physical exercise. Remember Ecclesiastes, the sleep of a labouring man is sweet. 6, proper diet. Now what we're going to talk about here is timing. Dr. Matthew Walker, he showed that eating a huge evening meal interfered with sleep. When we sleep at night, our stomach wants to sleep.
When we eat heavy meals before bed, the body shifts its focus to digestion instead of deep rest and repair. This can lead to acid reflux, bloating, and discomfort, making it harder to fall asleep. Additionally, late-night eating can spike blood sugar levels, disrupting sleep hormones like melatonin and insulin. Over time, this habit increases the risk of weight gain, poor metabolism, and even heart disease.
Number 7, hydration. We lose water every night. I don't know if you've ever slept on a mattress on the floor, and when you wake up in the morning and you lift the mattress, you notice it's all damp because we lose moisture every night. The most dehydrated time of the whole day is when we wake up in the morning. I say to my grandchildren when they stay, have you watered your garden yet? It's their garden down there. Sometimes they come out and say, Grandma, we've watered our garden. I say, great, it's ready for breakfast. I try always have water next to my bed. If I wake in the night, I have a few sips. You just have it always with you. When you are well hydrated, you will sleep better. Worry. Have you heard of the chat room? My brain tends to go into the chat room if I wake in the night. Now, what am I going to do about this? Now, I'll do, and I'll solve this. I'm a problem solver. I'm always trying to solve. If you stay in the chat room, you'll never go to sleep. So how do you get out of the chat room? Well, there's lots of things you can do to get out of the chat room. You can hum hymns, songs. You can, what I do is I recite Bible verses, and my brain tries to jump into the chat room and pull it back, pull it back, pull it back. There's your prefrontal cortex. Pull it back. Or you can start at 50 and count backwards. And if that's not long enough, you could start at 100 and count backwards. So it's just getting your mind out of the chat room. So the 8th law is trust in God. And I read a book on the science of sleep by Adriana Huffington. Adriana Huffington says if you can't sleep, you lie there and you think of all the things to be thankful for. I'm ever reading books on how I can know more about these 8 laws, because in the little book Ministry of Healing, Ellen White says these are the true remedies. And after helping people for over 40 years in these areas, I find it to be absolutely true.
Now let's explore the things we should avoid that disrupt our sleep and prevent us from getting deep, restful rest.
There are 2 things that will stop sleep. Getting into the chat room, we all know the chat room, and also looking at your phone. 80% of people in America sleep with their phone. The phone should not be in the bedroom, it should be out of the bedroom. Even if you're on call, put it in the hallway, you'll wake up. So it's not only the electromagnetic field that's affecting you, but there's a temptation, if you can't sleep, to look at your messages. Yeah? In the sunlight, there is blue light. And the blue light is absorbed through a little receptor site on our retina called melanopsin. And when blue light from the sunlight is absorbed through our eyes to our brain, it increases our ability to solve mathematical problems. It increases our ability to assess things, all because our eyes through the day have sunlight. And the blue light comes from the sunlight. The technology, the screens, whether they be iPad, whether they be computer, whether they be the phones, there is a blue light that comes out. Now, it's a different frequency to sunlight. But in the middle of the night, if you look at your phone, there's enough blue light going in there to say to your brain, daytime, wake up. Because it's right here. Whereas when you watch a screen like a television, your brain already knows it's dark and you're watching. So it doesn't mean that I'm saying you can watch television till late at night. Ever tried to watch something exciting and then go to sleep? There must be a time of winding down, especially that hour before you go to sleep. That's why a great thing to do if you can't sleep is just put a soft light on and read. Don't get an exciting book, just maybe The Life Habits of the Australian Platypus or something. That can get you out of the chat room too, reading.
Now, as we promised, we're going to share a secret herb that will help you sleep instantly.
If someone is really struggling with sleep and the melatonin is helping them, I don't tell them to stop. I say, well, it is helping you, so that is good, but what you could do is you could try a few other things and alternate it so the body doesn't get so dependent on it. And when you keep putting something into the body that the body makes, the body can make less of it, which is what you don't want. So there is another herb that's a mild tranquilizer, a mild sedative, and it's valerian. And I have spoken to some people that have said that's been really good. For people that really struggle with sleep, something like valerian, melatonin, they can get the body back into the habit of sleeping.
Sleep is a gift, and understanding it helps us make the most of it. By following the right habits and avoiding what harms our rest, we can wake up refreshed and healthier every day. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more natural health tips. See you in the next one.